Lads, lasses, people with glasses, and of course, all of those in between, my name, in case you didn't already know, is Dexter, and welcome to the Low Energy Livestream. This is Low Energy Livestream number 14, I believe, and once again, welcome. So, I hope everyone's had a good week. First off, I'm going to start by asking Albert, how did District 23 go last weekend? I hope you had a great time. I did see that you posted something on Facebook, but would you like to have a little bit input here? So, I want to try and have a little bit of feedback with my viewers, and I know you interact a lot. So, how did it go? Hang on. While I'm waiting for you to respond to that. Hello, hi Nicky. Thank you very much for joining the stream, and thank you very much for saying that I'm doing good work. I try. Howdy, partner. Hello, Colin. Hello, welcome to the live stream. I suppose as well I should say I apologise for the mess that is behind me. Unfortunately, I'm doing some decorating at the moment. What's happened to the cupboard? The cupboard. Oh, the cupboard. Ah, right. The cupboard is there. Unfortunately, we are doing some decorating at the moment, which I am in trouble for not joining in with tonight. So the spare room is currently, my office is currently filled with everything that was in my bedroom. As literally the room is completely bare apart from a couple of cables. So yes, and I'm in a little bit of trouble for not helping. But I have a commitment here. I said I was going to live stream, so I try and keep up. I try and stand by my word. So if I say I'm going to do something, I try and do it. Hello there, Chan. Hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Yes, cupboard. Yes, I read it. It didn't register in my head what the word was. Especially, I was thinking bookcase, not cupboard. Yes, I'm not bad, thank you. I try and be nice and happy when I'm doing my live streams. I'm generally sometimes I'm a happy person. Yes. Looks like you've Magnolia splashed your shirt. How dare you? This is a designer t-shirt from like George of Asda or something. Yes. So I suppose we'll just dive right in here today, while we're waiting to see if Albert comes back with a response about District 23. But yes, let's get on with this. So, if you're looking for somewhere to play this weekend, hopefully I can point you in the right direction. There was a couple more thrown at us when I asked about this on UK Paintball. Unfortunately, I've been on a real rush tonight because I've been doing other stuff, and I haven't had a chance to record everything. So, if you are interested, if there's anything that I've missed, I apologise for that, but you can find my original post on UK Paintball. I do also share anything that's passed on to us, anything that I can share, I share on my Facebook page. So, if you want to find a centralised place where I share a lot of the stuff that I'm on about, then check out my Facebook page, which is at Dexter's PB Lab. Now that that's said, we'll jump into the ones that I have recorded. Hello, wife. I just chuck them on the pile, not on the dog toys. Just don't put them on the dog toys. I don't want them killing them. Oh no! I'll fish them out later on. Right then, yes, Colin, but that will be featured next week. I will feature that one, but because it's the 24th, it's next weekend. I'll feature it next weekend. Right. So, let's start with there is a walk on at Mayhem Essex. On the Sunday the 17th, it is £50 with paint if you pre-book, or £55 with paint if you pay on the day. There is a heated kitchen area, and you get 4,500 air fills and 4,500 PSI air fills, and there is hot food available. So for an event that is featuring paint, that's actually a cracking little. That's not a bad price to pay. It's pretty good, especially considering you get a nice heated kitchen area, so you're not going to be freezing, especially during this time of the year. Right, did they not just lift off? Use the steps. in trouble. Right. So then, right, Paintball Park Kidderminster. One moment. Did they not just lift? I shall be back momentarily. There we go. I must apologise for that. Right. Yes. The whip cracks. Yes. Right. So next up, there's Paintball Park Kidderminster, which is of course located in Kidderminster. Sunday the 17th. It is just a mini walk on this one. It's not a full live stream goal. Yes. Unexpected things happen. We must deal with them as they arrive. It's my own fault. Once she decided that she wanted decorating done, I should have really reorganised the live stream, but I felt I was committed at that point to this. Right. So yes, Paintball Park Kidderminster does have a mini walk on the 17th. There is no entry fee for this one. There is a choice of Tomahawk Zero or Tomahawk Competition at £40 per box, which I think, considering the paint is a little bit more expensive there, I think for the fact that the event has free entry, that's a pretty reasonable sort of price to pay. There is free Dominoes when you book online, which any site that offers free food, I show an immediate interest in. Photos taken on the day are free of charge. There is also an on-site shop, covered safe zone, and lockers if you have any valuables that you don't feel comfortable leaving lying around. So, if you fancy that one, there is a free Domino's if you book online. Colin, how do you eat Domino's all the time? Last time you came on one of my streams, you were eating Domino's. Yes, it's nice food, but how often? Right. Grown lad, just like me. Right, next we have a walk-on at On Target Games, which is the 16th. So this is actually a walk-on on a Saturday, maybe 2 a month. Mate, how do you afford that? Did you remortgage your house? Right, so yes, walk-on at On Target Games on the 16th, which is, of course, a Saturday. This Saturday. So you could potentially go down and play this walk-on, and then head off somewhere else I've mentioned, and go play a walk-on there as well. Why not? Play 2 days in a row and get abused by your wife. Right. Paint is from £25 per box, with a £20 entry fee. It's located roughly 15 minutes from Plymouth, and gates open at 9 AM with the games set to start at 10:30. There is also a game at Outpost Paintball Chester, which is the 17th. It is £15 for members and £20 for non-members. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't have any more information on that game, but if I get an update, then I will update it from that point, or from that point on. And finally, last but not least, there is a walk-on at District 23, which is, again, this Sunday. There is potentially both MagFed and regular play if the numbers turn up for to have both. Because it's only a small site and it's only got the one game zone, If we get the numbers turn up, if it's all of one style player, or if everyone's happy to just join in together, then they'll probably run everyone in the one game zone and then come back. If it's if it's a larger number of players and people want to break up, if the Magfed players want to play purely Magfed and the regular players want to play regular style ball, then they'll open up both games. Or they'll open up the game zone for one group of players, they come back, and then they cycle in the other players. So it'll normally run about 10 minutes per group, so there'll be constant flip over if that is the case. If not, and everyone joins together, then obviously you go out, play a game, come back, then play, have a bit of time in the safe zone, and then go out and play again like a normal walk-on. It is £15 entry with £10 a bag, which is sight paint only. It is sight paint only because they use a clear fill ball with a white shell, because it is, of course, an indoor sight. It is, you've got to be kind of considerate as to what you're shooting. You can't be running around leaving the buildings looking multicolored, because the sight is also used for Nerf, airsoft, and, of course, paintball. If you're taking a friend along who needs the higher gear, it's £5 extra, including 6 mags and a chest rig, which I think is pretty good. And it is a 10 balls a second cap. Of course, if you're shooting a mechanical, there is no cap, but try and be respectful. Now, if anyone's interested, that will be the game that I'm attending this weekend. I'm actually getting to go out and play. So, if any of those tickle your fancy, if you want to get out and play any of those games, there is links, of course, in the description down below. Right, let's head over to the comments, and I'll see what you're saying. Right. Yes, I said cupboard. Yes, my T-shirt does look like it's been decorated. Right, Albert, and so this is about you playing last weekend at District 23. Went really well. The lads really enjoyed it. Had 5 of them are going to BZ on Saturday to get their own masks. Brilliant. See, this is what I'm on about. Getting people out and getting them to play can encourage, getting them to play in a reason, in somewhere where they're not going to get hammered, can encourage these people, like new players, to come back and play again, which helps paintball grow. That is fantastic, Albert. That's really good to hear. Right. Just throw them at Dex, then Dex is right. Right, yes. Don't give out tips, Colin. Yes, whip cracks. Yeah. I've said before, I'm admittedly completely under the thumb. I just do what I'm told. Happy wife, happy life. For the most part. Sometimes I have a little bit of a rebellion, but she knows that, and I think she just lets us. Wait, was that actually a whip crack? Maybe. Yes, Johnny. We all know who wears the trousers in that relationship. It is her. Yeah, I just do what I'm told. It's easier that way. Yeah. Livestream gold. Yeah. Nicky. Yeah. Like I said, things happen. Like, things you can't always expect. You can't always plan for happen, and you've just got to try and roll with it and make the best of it that you can. Had a Domino's last night, maybe 2 a month. It was 45 quid. Yes, Domino's is not a cheap meal. It's pretty nice. They do make reasonably good pizzas, and I really love their chicken wings. They're just the mini chicken wings, but they're really nice. But you need a mortgage if you're going to get them. One thing, they had own gunner playing against rental, and they were not limited to paint. But we only had 4 mags per game. I suppose the thing, if you're playing against own gunners, was it Magfed players or was it regular players? If it was regular players, I do think that it's a little bit worse, as in, like, especially in a closed environment. And if you've only got 4 mags per game, I suppose that. Coming from the District 23's point of view, they've got to sort of be able to spread those mags out amongst however many players they've got there on the day. They also don't want to be giving out too many mags in case they get damaged or things like that. But as long as they had a good day in the end, I'm glad to hear that. Need more details on the free dominoes. I don't have any more details. I just repeat what I'm told. I just pass on to you what I've been told by site owners and event organisers and things like that. Umarex have released an airsoft gun you want. No, Colin. Just no. They've got some nice stuff, but no. Airsoft does have tiny balls. And there's nothing that they can argue about on that. They have tiny balls. What did you miss, Ben? Just me getting abused by my wife. Plymouth. Did I say Plymouth? Hope you're playing next weekend too. Yeah, well, I can't make any promises, but it's looking promising. If I bring a Sharpie, would you sign my boobies? I'm more than happy to sign your boobies, Ben. You can return the favour if you like. Asking for a friend. Yes, of course, a friend. The two newest pizzas are nice. The cheeseburger is amazing. Yes, I know the cheeseburger pizza is amazing. I had one the other night, and it was very nice. But I can't remember. I think it was I took the gherkin off and replaced that with jalapenos, and then I had to go to the toilet about 4 or 5 times at work the next day. Too much info. Magford that had dye dams, right? Yeah, I can appreciate that, Albert. The dye dam, it's just a tournament gun in a milsim or in a more milsim style body. So the fact that you can flick it to it's illegal to use in the UK, obviously, but the fact that you can flick it to full auto, the fact that you can flick it to full auto and 3-round burst and things like that, or you can even set it up for to shoot more rapid rates of fire, it could be a little bit daunting, especially if you're using things like box mags and stuff. If they're using normal mags, I don't think that's as bad, but if they're using like box mags, which I know that there is a few players out there that do, even though a box mag costs more than some markers, it would be a little bit daunting for new players. But hopefully, well, judging from what you've said, those guys, the fact that they're going to come back, I think is brilliant. Or at least the fact that they're going to go and see about getting their own masks is brilliant. The fact that a player goes out and gets their own mask is always a great sign that they're going to come back. Or at least that they're showing interest without also wanting to fork out ridiculous amounts of money. So if you get players that rush out and they go out and they buy the most expensive gun that they can straight off the bat, I think quite often you tend to see that they're the players that then don't come back because they've put out this massive amount of money, and generally they'll spend a massive amount of money buying this top of the range marker, but then they don't have the money to go out and to buy the rest of the equipment to go with it, like your carbon fiber bottles, your high speed or high value hoppers, the high expensive masks to go with them. And then they take those guns out, they still get shot up even though they've got the fancy all bells and whistles marker, and think meh, and they sell it on. Or that gun, that marker then goes in a wardrobe for the next 10 years until it's dug out years down the line, and they try and sell it on for the same price that they paid for it on somewhere like eBay. We see it all the time. Or it ends up in a car boot sale for next to nothing because their parents try and sell it on for little to nothing. Right. It's a shell ejecting Winchester. That is cool, but it's also airsoft. Been okay if they told them 4 mags a game, but they were going out with 8+ mags, and they didn't split the teams, so it was all punter versus own gunners. That's not great. I think in a situation where you've got, unless the rental players want to play together, I think it's not a great idea to have all rental players versus all regular players, because you do just end up in a punter hunting situation. You end up with players that even they might not be amazing themselves, but they will be better than, and this goes for all types of players, be it mag-fed or regular or whatever. Even regular players will generally be way better than the average rental player, because they're a rental player who's generally never played before, and you've got people that will play regular. So even a team of bad regular players will generally hammer a team of rental players. It's unfortunate that that's just the way it is. So it is always worth trying to split those down the middle, and just try and make things a bit more even. Rental players playing with alongside regular players, they're going to get more value for money. They're going to get more enjoyment out of a day's play. I really need one of those Magfed pumps. Is it ADN kits, Colin? I do think they're brilliant, and it's Pete. I can't remember what his surname is right now, but Pete's got one, and it looks the business. It's basically just, I mean, his is, and it's effectively his is the autococker kit. So it's basically a pump action autococker. Well, it's a pump action Magfed autococker, and I'm not sure if he also has the actual the semi-automatic version as well, but they don't look like your realistic imitation firearms. They look like they are built for the purpose of playing paintball. So, and obviously that they're on one of the best type of markers ever created, the autococker. So they just look brilliant, and I would love to get my hands on one of those as well at some point. But my holy grail is still a Juki DSG. If I can get my hands on one of those at some point, I will be very, very happy. Right, what we're saying. Albert, I'm going down with them. Think they're going for the profiler, as BZ got them for 45 quid. That's it. Again, the profiler, brilliant mask. Either the profiler or the Proflex. You did say profiler. They're both around about the same sort of price. Now, of course, you're only going to get the bog standard Proflex for that sort of price. You know, you're going to get basically something that looks along the lines of that. I think this one cost me about that sort of price years ago now, and they've stayed roughly that same sort of price now. It's only when you start going into fancy colours and stuff like that, the price of a Proflex will start to go up. And it's, again, because profilers are another one that is, it's an older mask, but it's still got a large following. It's got a low price because obviously it's not one of the in masks to have at the moment, but it is still a very good mask and a very good value mask that still making lenses for. It's, as far as I'm aware, they're still making lenses for it. But it's good. Like Ben said, it's a good call on the masks. It's always brilliant for point players, new players in that direction first. They all want to buy markers straight off the bat, but it's always better to try and push them down the direction of buying equipment before they buy the marker. I think that's the one. The ADN one. Yeah, the ADN pump. The ADN Magfed, yeah. Right, Nicky T. Magfed has my full respect. Played half a day of it at the last PPK walk-on. Swapping gear with one of the Spartan actual lads. Best afternoon playing ever. Well, this is it. It adds. Playing Magfed, for all, it's not for me. I did try. I played Magfed for a little while, and I think it's a lot of hassle for something that I can do with other gear. But I respect the lads that play Magfed for the most part. There is a few knobheads, but just like in every type of paintball, you know, there's elitists, there's outright arseholes, but they don't make up the majority. They're always in the minority, and you know. Even then, just because your opinion doesn't line up with someone else's doesn't mean that you can't be friends with them. Which a lot of people in this current political climate don't seem to understand. But you can play the Magfed guys. I mean, I play with Magfed players quite regular when I go down and play District 23, and I like playing with those guys because it's the difference. It's not all just rain and paint. You know, I've played a bit of tournament paintball. I've played in the woods for a long time, and you get paint raining in you. And when you're playing Magfed, and even if you're playing Magfed against guys that are raining paint, it's a different discipline. You can't rely on firepower to just blast your way through your opponent. You need to have a bit more. You need to think a bit more and use a bit more in the way of tactics. Not that I'm saying that Tony Ball or anything like that doesn't use tactics, because they do. But it's just a different style of play. It's along the same sort of lines as playing pump in a way. You know, you can't, as I said, rely on firepower. But yeah, the guys that play Magfed all of the time, especially those that play Magfed against regular players, they have my respect. Alright, Colin, I'd love a pair of Juki revolvers. Yes, I would love them as well. Because for years, I've kind of wondered about the potential of, I think there are 5 chambers as well, 5 in the chambers as well, aren't there? Or 5 drum chambers. So, I've kind of wondered for a long time about the idea of having 5 first strikes in the chamber, and then having the stick feed underneath, the spring-fed stick feed underneath, with, I think it's like 6 balls or something in that. So you've got the long range accuracy of the first strike for the first 5 shots, and then if you get close, you can start popping into round ball, and it at that point it loads itself. I would love to get my hands on one of those, and I think they look like there's just something about revolvers. It makes you feel like a proper gunslinger. It's the same with the Winchester and pump action shotguns for me. They make you feel badass. It's even one of the reasons why I'm really eager to see the new umarex shotgun, because it makes things like shotguns and stuff just make me feel badass. There's just something about, and I said this in another live stream, like about the idea of holding up the shotgun and giving it, "This is my boomstick." It makes me happy. Yeah, that's it. Pete Finnegan. That's it. Who's got the Mark Fed autococker? It's the budget grills, basically. Yeah, you're right, Colin. The profiler is the budget grills, but I think it came out before the grills, and I remember watching videos. Now, yes, they're a few years old now, but having pros running around and playing using profilers, and you're still seeing some of those, some players, some pro level players who still do use the profiler. It's still a great mask. I have a picture of Chan holding one. Oh, that's like blackmail material for Chan, that. Chan holding something that's mag-fed. Ooh. Right. They got a shock as apart from your mask, you had all rental gear. This is Albert. They had a shock as apart from your rental mask, you had all rental gear overall, etc. Had one come up to me and say, "Mate, you're good. Have you played here before?" And asked if I wanted to have a go over real good. Oh, you see, now this is something I've brought up before. About a good player can play well with bad gear. You don't need amazing gear for to go out and have fun, or for to even do well. Did he tell them that you play, Colin? Did he tell them that you played against a tampon pump? A tampon pump? Right, Stencil. Thoughts on playing as an experienced player in low division CPPS with a high division or high end up? I'm assuming high end pump, MVP, CCM, etc. As for an experienced player, I would say an experienced player going into a low division, like say a D1 player that's going in and playing like D5 or like breakout or something like that. Obviously it's known as sandbagging. If you're going in and if you're going in and you're using high-end gear or semi-automatic or anything like that, and you're a high-level player going in and playing against people that have potentially never played tournament before, I think it is a bit of an arsehole thing to do. However, if you're going in and playing pump, now I would say that the same sort of thing does apply. But the difference is, if you've never played tournament paintball before, and you go in, if you never played tournament paintball before with a pump, and you go in and you play something like D5, it's a different style of play. So I could understand if you went in and you played a season with a pump action of a season of CPPS, and you were playing with a pump action. If you were normally a D1 player with a semi-auto, I could understand going and playing D5 with a pump, so you can kind of get the feel for playing tawny ball and then build yourself up from there. Now, I wouldn't expect you to stay at D5 forever. I would expect that you'd move up pretty fast, but I think it's understandable when you're it'd be kind of I would think the same if you're playing Magfed or something like that in a tournament. When even though it's the area that you're comfortable in, when you go in and you're playing a different style, then I think allowances can be made for that. I hope that I hope that answers your question there, Stencil. Pump Fury. Yes, yes, Colin with his Pump Fury. And Colin, I've still got to get one of those t-shirts off you. Albert, I didn't say anything. I just went and put my gear on on for the last game. Had a word with the wife running it, and she let you use your pump. That would be Michaela. She's cracking. The thing is, Albert, you're the same as me. You don't take the piss when you're playing pump. So, Michaela, and I think obviously you've played there before. So, well, I'm not even sure if you'll have met Michaela before or not, but she seems to be a pretty good judge of character, and she's also pretty understanding with things. So, generally, if you'd gone over and you wanted to play with an Electro or something, that she might not have been, the staff there in general might not have been overly happy if you're just playing against Magfed players. But playing with a pump, those guys down there, they're pretty accepting of that. I think I would like to put that one on myself. That I think I opened their eyes to the fact that me going on and playing with a pump wasn't that much different than them playing with a Magfed marker. Right. So, since I've caught up with the comments there, we'll move on to some of the topics of the day. Right, so the first one, and I was just kind of talking about it, but yes, I think for the past month, I have brought this up every live stream, but yes, I am bringing it up again today, the umarex shotgun. I don't know what its actual working name is at the moment, but yes, umarex, for those that don't know, are bringing out a double barrel shotgun, and it's meant to be based similar to a sawn-off shotgun, so it's only got the sort of pirated grip, and the barrel is probably about that long. If you can get a judge of that, it's probably about that sort of length, and it is actually break barrel. At first, I thought it was. I thought that, well, in fact, I can't even remember what I thought it was. I thought it used shells at first as well, so I was a little bit wrong on a couple of counts there. But it's a break barrel, and I thought it was you removed an entire section at first, but you don't. It's break barrel, so it can take first strikes if you want to use that. It can also take regular paintballs. If you wanted to use something like scatter shots, say 6mm or the 6mm airsoft paintballs, things that might take a bit of working around, work out how you could do it, but it's possible. But it is designed to shoot 6.8 caliber stuff. I'll read the comments in a sec there, lads. So this thing, it doesn't use shells. The balls literally just go straight in the back. It looks the business, and it's potentially, if you ignore the reloading aspect of it, it is semi-automatic as well. It takes 12 grams, so they're not pre-charged. They're not pre-charged canisters or anything like that. But anyway, I'm getting into the advertising sort of side of it here, which is not the point. So as I was saying, it takes a 12 gram in the pistol grip. Now there was a page on Facebook, Elite Force, ran a competition to try and win one of these. Of course, because I want one. But the competition was to guess how many shots this thing would fire. Well, Elite Force have done their test, and they were going by 17 shots. But because I had a bit of talk with a few people on a few different pages about this, because 17 shots is a bit disappointing. But this has raised a few questions. I don't think I've touched on this before, but this has raised a few questions. For example, if it's 17 shots, when you are watching the video, apparently the velocity starts off at 245 with a 6.8 ball, which 245 on something that it's only a double barrel, it's only meant to be for CQB, is actually champion, and it's going to be well below the sort of the legal limit in the UK, considering this is probably the F-stamp version anyway, because you've got to remember these products are by rights for home defense. But considering it's the F-stamped version, and if we're shooting frangible ammunition, this should be legal to use in the UK for paintball. Right, now, because it is based off of a double barrel shotgun, you do have the option of firing one barrel, or you can then flicking over to the second barrel, or you can fire both barrels at the same time by flicking it over to the second barrel and then launches both balls. But I was told, and I've got no reason to discount this because it actually makes sense. Apparently, the shotgun releases the same amount of air, or this umarex shotgun releases the same amount of CO2, regardless of if you are firing one barrel or two. Now, I don't understand how that works for the airflow through the marker, because I haven't seen one, so I can't really comment on that. But that then made me wonder, if it's releasing the same amount of air, regardless of which barrel you're firing, or if you're firing both barrels, surely you must have to block one barrel to stop that ball being launched, if you only want to fire the first barrel. Which means surely if that's the case, then there'd be more air traveling through the first barrel than in the second barrel. And if you open up the second barrel to fire both barrels, then the airflow is going to be lower. As well as that, there is also the aspect of if they were only counting for how many times they pulled the trigger. So because they were firing in quick succession and they were also dry firing the marker, that will have used up more CO2 faster. So it's potentially around about 17 double barrel shots. At least that's dry firing. On top of that, they were also using a heavier ammunition, which was apparently the rubber first strike rounds. They're basically like a rubber training round that you can get. So, to put it simply, I'm still interested in how in this thing, but I kind of want to see one in person and see where the legitimacy of it is. If they're using a heavier round, then obviously that's going to reduce the FPS. So then you put a lighter round in. Is it going to be over is it going to be over the legal limit in the UK? We've got things like that to talk about. How many shots are we going to get out of it? 17 for a bit of fun, I'm prepared to kind of accept. But by the time they got 17, the balls were kind of just dropping out the end. You would have to be on somebody to make it usable at that velocity. But I'm curious as to how it would work. I do want to try it and I do want to see it, but I think this is something that will potentially need to be looked at. Right. I think that's it, unless anybody has any questions on that. Check the comments again. Single shot, gogged 3 of them off the belt. They were not happy. Yeah, well, shooting 3 of them off the bat, Albert, probably, most people aren't going to be happy with that. And yes, that is channeling Pump Fury, Colin. I'd love to play CPBS with me pump because it can't be capped. I doubt they would allow it. Well, now you see, Colin, I think that depending on what division you are to play, I think there's a good chance that CPBS would allow you to play with your pump, because as we've talked about before with the whole 5.5 scenario, unless you are very, very experienced, you're not going to be able to maintain any more than 10 balls a second for a long period of time firing pump, unless of course you're using something like a pneumatic assist pump, in which case it would be a lot easier to maintain a very high rate of fire. But for the most part, I know, and hello there, Mr. Paintball. It's like, I know that I can fire reasonably fast with the pump, and I know you can, Colin. But for us to maintain that, I think it would be a bit unrealistic. But I would still love to play something like CPBS with the pump. I think it would be great fun, and I'd probably go in at somewhere around about D5 myself, or well, yeah, just to try it out and see what it was like, because I don't want to go in and get mullered, but I also understand that I'm going to be playing with the pump, so even at D5, I'm probably going to get mullered, but it would be worth a laugh. Colin, the 2-mana Tiaros. Thing is, Heroes will be woodland, won't it? There is a difference between playing woodland and playing tawny ball with the pump, or playing sup air with a pump. Say, I want to play sup air with a pump. I've played plenty woods with a pump. This is why you need 2, because a pump team would be here. A CPBS pump team would be hilarious. I totally agree, mate. I would love, like, if I could afford it and I was able to get down there regular and stuff, I think, like me, you, Albert, that's the foundations of a great pump. Gassy, that's the foundations of a great pump team there. We'd only need one more pump player. We talked about this before, but I'd love an old Tony pump team. Yes, I think that would be absolutely great. Mr. Paintball, am I subscribed to PewDiePie? You know what it is? I don't think I am. But yes, everyone, go subscribe to PewDiePie. We must keep T-Series at bay. Yeah, PewDiePie must reign supreme on YouTube. And the last I heard, there was only something like about 57,000 subscribers difference between the two of them, and T-Series is coming up fast. But because Pewds tried to do a live stream playing Roblox, for to kind of try and keep people subscribed to him and keep people, for to get more people subscribed to him, PewDiePie has been banned from Roblox. No reason given, but yes, as I understand it, there was no reason given, just banned. Oh no! Oh, not again. Right. So yes, I should really go over and subscribe to PewDiePie. That was not what you think it was. It was a can of Irish Coke. Right. I'll just pour this out and then we'll get on to the next topic, I suppose. Right. There we go. Irish Coca-Cola. Lovely. Right then. So anyway, Colin, Albert, I suppose, I think it's for Speed. Yes, you're lovely. For Speed Weekend, I'm pretty sure they're doing a 3-man and a 5-man tournament. So I don't know how much you got to pay for to get in on it, but we could always put a 3-man pump team in for that. See how we do. Be good for a laugh. There will be a fantastic bloopers bit from this stream. No, not this time. I don't think it wasn't a proper spillage like the last one. So I don't think that'll be a particularly good one. Right. So, yeah, Albert, I think it would be great if I were to have a go at that. I think it'd be brilliant, man. Yep, there we go, lads. 3-man pump team in for the tournament at Speed Weekend. Awesome. Right. I must say I am highly disappointed in all of you. Apart from Albert, you have all shamed me this weekend. I put out a challenge, and Albert was the only person that attempted it. I am extremely disappointed. I made a video on everything. You've got to make it up to us. Although, Dr. Rush, I think I just saw that you subscribed to us, so I'll take that. I'm happy to accept that as your apology. But yes, what happened? What happened, guys? I made that video. We talked about it in the last stream, and you didn't even take part. I was told by numerous people that they would take part in a challenge. None of yous. Disappointing. But yes, I did the lens strip. I was challenged to see that I could and how fast I could change a JT lens, because I made the comment that a JT lens is a quick change. Well, a JT is a quick change mask. With a little bit of practice, it's a quick change mask, and I did it in 49 seconds. I was able to swap a JT lens out of a JT Spectra lens in 49 seconds. None of yous, apart from Albert. You only have 2 Flex 8. It's like flexing a house brick. You can still change the lens on a Flex 8. And all right, they are a bit more difficult. No, Dr. Rush, because the challenge was anyone. Obviously it was mostly about JTs, but anyone could change it. And just have a go at changing your lens and how fast you can change your lens. All this is you just got to take it out and then take it out, show that it's out, and put it back in, and it's how fast you can do that. So come on, Give it a go. Give it a try. See how fast you can do it. And like I said, I'll even extend this to next week. If somebody makes one and tags us in on the video showing that they've stripped the mask down, the person who gets the fastest time, I will. Yes, yeah, Colin. The person who gets the fastest time stripping down the mask or taking the lens out. It's not a full strip. It's just as if you're changing the lens for to go out and play again. The person who gets the fastest lens strip, I'll give a shout out in my next live stream. Because why not? But right. The Flex 8 full head shield. All right, Colin. Yes, I'll let you have that one. The full head shield is not an easy mask to change the lens on. And that thing, you know, I will give credit. Like just the normal Flex, the normal JT Pro Flex versus that. It is two totally different masks to try and change the lens on. That one, obviously, one of the easiest ways to change the lens on a JT is you take the faceplate off, you remove that, take the top off, you can just basically pull that off the top there, and then once you've got it at the bottom, you can pop the two sides off and then pull it from the bottom of the from round about there on the nose. If you can see that, you pull like there down over, and you can give it a bit of a wiggle and come straight off, and that's your lens out. And then the same for to go back in, you just push the center of the nose up, that locks it in place, run your fingers around the bottom, and that kind of helps run everything in, as long as you've got the two sides in. But with that thing, you've got to take the top off, you've got to take the nose off, but it's fixed in by the strap. So to do it properly, by rights, you should take one side of the strap out, and then you can pull the strap all the way through, and it's a bit of a faff on. And it's the same for the Proteus. With the Proteus, you have a bit that's fitted in there. So yes, you can still change the lenses. They're not a nightmare, but they're just a little bit more difficult than the normal JT. So I'll get them out of the way again. But yes, in future, gentlemen, try harder. Partake in my challenges. Do it. That's it. You're getting a $39.99 mask off eBay for this challenge with a special tool, a hammer. Well, I don't know if that would work, Colin. Because if you try smashing up, that just means that you've then got to remove all of the segments instead. But apart from that, though, I think the rest of the mask would probably survive with a flex. I mean, there is a reason that they're called flexes. They flex. Very squishy. Albert, 15 minutes and you still hadn't got the lens in, and your phone went flat. You've got to have a little bit of preparation, haven't you? You need to plug it in and charge. Right. So, next topic. It would get the lens out. It would help you get the lens out. I'll accept that. Right. Next topic then. So, Paintball Magazine, for those that don't know, I have mentioned before, the Paintball Magazine, around about Christmas, they decided that they were going to make up calendars for people to buy if they wanted to represent, you know, on their kitchen wall or in their workplace or anything like that. There was... Being noisy. The Die i4. Yes, the Die i4 copy would just disintegrate, mate. But it would get the lens out, though. Definitely. You could just shoot the lens out with that thing. Yes, so the Paintball Magazine, around about Christmas, decided that they were going to make up calendars. Yes, personally, Colin, I only got the mag at the time. I think I ordered mine just before they decided that they were going to sort the calendars out. And I've just never gotten around to sorting out a calendar yet. I'm really, really badly organised. So, they originally, when they decided that they were going to make the magazine, make a calendar for the magazine, they ordered the batch from the printers. They ordered them with they sent them out through a certain delivery company. I'm not going to name names. I think I did in my previous one, if you want to go find that. But they sent them out with this company, and this company, for some reason, turned up, stuck a note through the door saying that they attempted delivery, even though Martello was in the house and never heard them attempt delivery. And then they delivered them somehow at someone else's house miles and miles away. Someone completely unrelated. So eventually, they made their way back to Martello, the editor of the Paintball magazine, and he was able to, he got them out. But in the meantime, he sent he got a new batch made up, sent them out to everyone that had ordered one. This then left him, when he got the original batch back, left him with a whole load of calendars. Unfortunately, there'd been a mistake made, and they weren't perfect. He's sent those off, and he's had them rebound. He's had them rebound into A5 calendars, into little A5 wall calendars. So if anyone's interested, if anyone still wants a Paintball magazine wall calendar, it's slightly smaller than the original ones, you can get one for £6 posted, which I think for a calendar, especially considering it's going to be posted to you, is pretty good. If you're interested in that, you can find a link to that over on my Facebook page, which again is Dexter's PB Lab on Facebook. So it's another great way to support the Paintball magazine. It helps them, and you get something nice out of it for pretty cheap. Yeah, and as Colin says, it's a bargain. I mean, yeah, if you go and buy a calendar from somewhere else, it's probably going to be about £4 or £5 anyway. So, and you can stick it up in your workplace and show off paintball off to everyone, and you might get some new players out of it. Alright. So, next one. This week, we have a report. Yeah. We have a report, and if I can find the page that it's on, right, we have a Roman review from Dave Brooke Reed about Nicky T's clinic, his breakout clinic, last weekend. So I'll read this out, but I will put a little bit of input into it myself. So hopefully you enjoy. And again, thank you very much, Dave, for writing us up a little bit of a review about this. So, Dexter, where do I start? Okay, firstly, I'll get the moan out. It was windy and cold, bloody cold, which it was. I was busy doing stuff with the family, but I nipped down to the beach on Saturday morning, and I was nearly getting blown off my feet. And me getting blown off my feet, I'm not exactly a very light person for it to be getting blown around. Oh no. Oh, it seems that the dog has stolen one of the paint rollers. Right, back to this. Nick had everything ready for our arrival on Saturday. I was one of the first to arrive and sign in. With that in mind, as it was cold, I chose my staging area strategically next to the heater. I don't blame you, mate. We had use of the AstroTurf sub-airfield for training. Playing on AstroTurf's a pretty cool thing, and it's not something that a lot of sites have, because it's not cheap. Nick walked through several drills. Number 1, 5 people to take 1 shot at a pod from an initial 10 feet. If you missed, you were out. Sounds easy to do, but when you're under pressure, it's surprisingly difficult to hit a simple, just a reasonably small target, even a reasonable target at any distance is surprisingly difficult to do under pressure when you're not used to it. Breakout process. Cool. So I'm assuming that'll be sort of like how to position yourself on the Stargate and things like that, and how to feel comfortable where you'd be going and all those sorts of things. Snap shooting. Number 3, snap shooting. One of the core skills that every paintballer, doesn't matter what style of play you're playing, every player should learn how to snap shoot. It is one of our core skills that you need to learn if you're going to play paintball. Number 4, shoot, run, peripheral vision, and then snap shoot. So, yeah, again, making sure that you're shooting, you're running to where you want to be. You check around, make sure that you're actually safe once you're in there, and then take a snapshot at wherever your opponent is, or where you think your opponent is. And then end of the day was a 5-on-5. So you get to do you run through your drills, and then you get an experience of what it's actually like to play a 5-on-5 on a tournament field with those new skills that you've just been taught. I was unable to stay for the 5 versus 5 due to other commitments. Understandable, we've all got those. I will say the way he was teaching and explaining the reason for his training method was sound and a real eye-opener. I do know that he is planning more clinics, with the next one around announced for April at Outpost Paintball. There is dates for that. I'm not sure if I've shared that on my Facebook as well, but if you keep an eye out on my Facebook page, I will share the dates for the next training clinic on my Facebook page. Now, I believe, I may be wrong on it, but I believe they are, the training clinics are Patreon only. So if you're interested in attending one of these clinics, for the sake of chucking a couple of quid, Nicky T's way, every month on his Patreon, you get access to the training clinics, and you would also get access to the competitions that he runs. Patreons come for free. There we go. Thank you very much, Nicky. So yeah, Patreons actually get to attend these for free. So, and that, like I said, for the sake of a couple of quid being thrown in Nick's direction, it's a great thing there. And as I was also saying, he does run competitions based off, I think is it subscription? Non-Patreons can attend, but there's a charge. Understandable. Approximately 6 months. I'm going to have to move back over onto the other page for that. Non-Patreons can attend, but there's a charge, approximately 6 months fee, so it's a no-brainer to sign up. Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, if you want to attend one training clinic, it's roughly the cost of 6 months on Patreon. So, it makes sense. I mean, you could attend 3 training clinics, and you've getting way past your money's worth. Right. Thank you very much again for that, Nick. Right. And we'll just finish the review off here, if I can find the page. I would highly recommend, if anyone is a Patreon, whatever your skill levels are, to go along and learn some great stuff. And I would totally agree. Nick knows what he's doing. He's been all over the world playing paintball. He's played for some big teams. He knows what he's talking about. I've said there's even some of his content is available for free on YouTube if you go over to his YouTube channel, and it's very well put together, very well put together content, and I highly recommend it. Right, so yeah, check that out. Unfortunately, I can't afford myself at the minute to subscribe, but even I think a great one is, I think it's July's prize for the Patreons is a free flow autococker. I think it's a free flow caliber autococker. Apparently these aren't even being sold anymore, so they're not cheap, and they're a bit of a collector's item. So yeah, July prize, you could be in with a chance of winning a very sought after autococker. So yeah, go check it out. Right. Now I'll close that one down so that I don't get a mistake that page for anything else. Right. So that is that bit done. That's that bit done. That bit done, and that bit done. Right. So that's the last of my topics that I've got wrote down for today. So finally, in fact, I'll move over here first. I'll just have a quick check of the comments, make sure that I'm keeping up to date with these all. You're just disappointed that there were no photos view in the mag or the calendar. I know, Colin. I know. Photographers never seem to notice me anymore nowadays either. You got to dip out now, Dex. And guys, bye-bye all. Hey, thank you very much for joining with Colin, and I shall catch you later on, mate. Right. So, I'm up to date with the comments. So let's... Oh, Ben. Isn't technology great? Yes, indeed it is, mate. I'll just check that this one is first. Oh, no. What have you done? Wait, what? I'm not sure. Has YouTube crashed for you? Have you been commenting too much again? Solid mobile it is. Right. Oh. Photo of Chan with a pump action mag-fed marker. Oh. I think I might actually have to post that on my Facebook page. That Chan touching a mag-fed piece of equipment. Oh dear. Right. So where was I? Where was I? Right. Right. So, big game shout out of the week. Now, hopefully, I won't get Facebook notifications popping up in the middle of this. Right. Borderlands 5 being held at Outpost. One sec. It's Outpost Paintball, which is located Chester. June the 15th and 16th, 2019. Pre-booked. For the price for pre-booked players is £35 for members, £45 for non-members, and there will also be day passes available. Right, what else have we got? When we get into the meat of it, right? Oh no, is there an information section? Details. Oh no, I should have really checked this beforehand. It's our 5th big game weekend now. I know I have got more information about this somewhere, so if you give us one moment for to search it out. Right, what we got? Right. Come on. I know I had more information on this. Come on. Right. They are looking at running classic mini games Friday and Saturday. Then the Sunday it's fully open to the usual scenario rules. Unfortunately, I think that is actually about it for the information that I've got. But yeah, there is a link in the description down below if you want to go check out the page yourself. It is a link to the events page, and plenty time in for the book up in advance now. There is also, I was informed that there is free camping on the weekend. So if you want to go, you want to have a bit booze up or anything like that, you can pitch up, park up, pitch your tent. You can have a few drinks, have a laugh with the other guys that are camping there, and have yourself a full weekend of play. And for £45 for a non-member. Especially for a big game, that is unfortunate. I can't make it this year, but that is definitely an event that will be on my radar for next year. It's definitely one that I'm considering checking out. Right, what else we got? I think, unfortunately, I do think that is about it. It is being run from the 14th of June at 10 a.m. to the 16th of June at 7 o'clock. So it's actually been held a bit later than the normal events. Most normal events, they kind of want you offside by around about 4:30 normally, I think it is. 4:30, 5 o'clock, somewhere around about that. That's the kind of point where they're kind of like putting that foot in the middle of your back and going, shoo. But yeah, it's, as I understand it, Outpost, unfortunately, it's one I've never managed to actually get to yet. I've been told it's a cracking site. Yeah, go check it out. Plenty of time in advance for to book up to it. And if you do attend this, as with anything that I share, if you tend or you take part in any of this sort of stuff, please feel free to let us know. Tell us how it went. Tell us what you thought of the event, and I can tell more people about it. If it's terrible, we can tell people that the site's terrible, and we can try and either get the site to sort out the problems that they've got, or we can try and direct players away from that. What I want really. Hello there, Martello. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Oh, well, hello there. So yes. Oh, and I've just seen. Don't worry about it, mate. The fact that you've joined my live stream at all means a lot to me. And but I've just seen. Yeah. Any questions for the Paintball Magazine podcast issue number 3? Song requests, topics, etc. Ask away. Yes, podcasting. So, are you still making the podcast? Now, have you finished today's already? I'll wait for the response. Yes, weekly. But have you? Right, you're still making today's. Are you still making this week's? Right, champion. So has anybody got any questions or anything that they would like to put forward towards the Paintball Magazine's weekly podcast? In fact, I've got one for you, and I'll pass it on to you. I was one that I was asked earlier on, and I'll try and find it. Right. From Stencil25, unfortunately, sorry, I don't know Stencil's real name, but thoughts on playing as an experienced player in a lower division CPPS, so say, for example, D5, with a high-end with a high-end pump. So, for example, something like an MVP or a CCM. What's your thoughts on that? I'll pitch that one to you on behalf of Stencil25. Right. So, done the interviews, just links and news. Yes, so it's pumps in CPBS, but specifically playing with, like, as an experienced player, playing with a high-end pump in a low division. Albert, I do as well, mate. I think, to be honest, I would just play every weekend. I'd play every day if I could. I need that lottery win, and then I can pay people to come and play with us. But yeah, even in general, Martello, I think just pumps in CPBS, I think that in itself is also an interesting question. Do you think that there is a place for... I don't think there's enough pump players to have a purely pump tournament. I don't think there's enough people that are interested in that yet. Possibly, like I would say maybe like a Magfed and pump tournament. There's potential there, but specifically pumps being included with the normal paintball. I had the idea of a pump / mag inflatable tournaments, but with the walls, tanks, barrel, and yes, I wish. In fact, I think. Give us one moment. Can I see it here? Aha! That's lucky. The reason that the reason that the room is a mess is because I'm decorating. So my bookcase is currently there with no books on it, and all my books are just like in a huge pile here. And it turns out that my complete guide to paintball, 3rd edition, was right near the top, so I was able to find it. Now, you're saying about like cool inflatables, like tanks and all that sort of stuff. Right. Going back to, this would have probably been like the early days of paintball. Come on, our notes around here. Right. You've got, I'll see if I can, you've got cones. Kind of cool. I mean, we've still got things a bit similar to that now. The Nessie, I think, although I'm not sure if that's the Nessie or the Snake, but an actual snake bunker. Not just a tube lying outside, but an actual snake bunker. Carrots, which were basically just a cone on its side. What else we got? Right. I think it's the fish bunker. Look at that! How cool is that? I wish I could have played tournaments in the days when like this sort of stuff actually existed. But they like there as well. A piggy. I don't know. I'm trying like a piggy. How cool is that, man? Stuff like that. Why don't they do that with tournaments anymore? I would love to play a tournament where the bunkers were like inflatable tanks and fish and stuff like that. It would be so awesome. There's a couple of lads that I used to play turning ball with who used to play, I think it was in the PA years ago, and they said that at that time they would actually have stuff like there was one of the events where they had, I think it was an inflatable elephant in the field. It's like, why don't people do stuff like that anymore? I think it would just be brilliant. Like a standard tournament field, but using scenario inflatables, mate. I am down for that. And it's copyrighted to PPM, dude. You can have it as long as if I can come down and play it. I don't care if I'm playing someone else's event or anything. I don't want to put on events. I just want to play them. Oh, no, I like the sound of that. Yes, Albert, me too. Hey, Martello, can me, Colin, and Albert put in a 3-man pump team for this scenario tournament, this scenario inflatable tournament? Because I am so down for that. No one steal my idea. Mighty Ball did them. See, I'm not familiar with Mighty Ball. Some peeps who did the same peeps who did the snap cage, right? Is that like is in the snap cage they have it in north versus south, like the great big sort of inflatable building, like the great big sort of inflatable it's really small training area. Yeah, that's it. The snake actually has a tongue and wing nuts. Yeah, that's it. The car washes and stuff that actually had wedges down the sides and stuff, and in fact. Oh, I can't even show you because I haven't got the screen share yet. But I'll have a quick look. Oh man, images. I know I've got. I'm sure it was Warpig photos from years ago where they had ridiculously awesome bunkers. They had like big pyramids built up where they had multiple bunkers laying on top of each other and stuff like that. Why don't sites do that anymore? I think it would be awesome for it to get to experience stuff like that. You know, where there's like a bit of imagination. I understand there's like a lot of tournaments, like for example, say CPPS. They do stuff where obviously they recreate the Millennium Fields, and it's for players that then potentially want to move up, or even players that are already at like a higher standard that just want to play at a lower standard as well. I understand that, but why can't we have some fun fields as well? That fields that are just made up for fun, where you've got stupid bunkers. I think even stupid bunkers in high-level paintball would probably make it more entertaining. You know, like if you've got some commentator screaming about like he's in the fish, I think it would stuff like that would just be it would be so much more entertaining to watch. I remember the giant fish. Yeah. Well, okay, Nicky T's got my back on this one. That's your idea. You can have it, mate. I don't want to steal your idea. I want to play it. Well, yeah, with Pump Fury. Yep, that's it. Me, Colin, and Albert. I've been to a mobile laser tag that had full war-torn village and all inflatables. Yeah, that's it. The same sort of bunkers, yeah. Been around for years. Had the idea for years. Do it! Dude, do it! If I can make it there, I will be there. And if I can't make it there, I will give it, like, because that is something that I would want to do. I'd want to go and play that. I will give it shout-outs galore. I would love to get out and play that. That would just be awesome, man. But yeah, stuff like that would just be brilliant. It's definitely one that I would want to play. Right. So, has anybody else got anything that they would like to throw towards the paintball magazine, or even towards myself? We'll try and get a few comments for the paintball magazine for their podcast. We'll try. I want to try and support each other here. So, has anybody got anything? Has anybody got any song requests that they'd like to hear on the paintball magazine's podcast? Anything? Because I've got one. Martello, would it be possible for me to hear BDZ by Twice? Please? Maybe. Right. When the snake was an actual snake. Yes. That's it. And the other thing with Tony Fields, you get one a year. No, it's not rude. Although if it was rude, that might be more fun. Right. So, yeah, it's like when you actually see photos, or if you see old videos of Tony players playing when with the real snakes and stuff, or even even just original snake bunkers as we know them now, they were tiny. It's like bunkers where I literally would not be able to lie down in it without people seeing my back. Like, I mean, they are ridiculously low. You see these photos where it's you could do nothing but be on your belly. I mean, I can remember when I was playing permanent air bunkers. That's thinking more along the line. There. For paintball mag, do the thing paintball masks are starting to get way too expensive? I think that's a valid question, and I'll let Martello have that one. I think we've talked about that before anyway, haven't we, Albert? Yeah, so permanent air bunkers. Well, wasn't that effectively what Hyperball was at the beginning, where you had the big old drainage trenches that obviously they weren't inflatables, but that was kind of where everything started. At least that seemed to be where tournament paintball started. And then it seemed they were moved on to the inflatables where you had the airlines running all the way, like, all over the game zone. And like you see, again, you can still see some old video footage of people tripping on those airlines as they're running across the game zones. And I believe there was even some, and I think it still kind of extends to this day, to tournament paintball now, where you couldn't go on field with certain types of spikes, like say for example golf spikes. You could go on with football boots on, but not golf spikes, because you ran the risk of puncturing the bunkers, and that I believe is still the same now. And you know what it is? I was saying something though. The baby shark. Well, to be fair, the fish kind of did look like a bit like a baby shark. Or possibly a piranha. I think more piranha than baby shark. Oh. Right, but I completely lost my train of thought on what I was saying. Albert, I remember Rocky going arse over tit. Mate, if you watched old videos, it's amazing to just see how many pro bowlers do just they lose it. I mean, the first time that I ever stepped on a tourney field, it was only a training session, and I went straight on my face because I was wearing Converse. I didn't know what to wear. I'd only played paintball like twice beforehand, and went 3, 2, 1, game on. I'm only doing breakout drills, and I went to run, and my trainers, I was leaning forward, and my trainers had no grip, and I just went down. It's easy done. Right. So, has anybody got anything else that they'd like to talk about? Because unfortunately, as things are going, I've kind of run low on things to talk about now. Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit tonight. Like I said earlier on, I didn't really prepare for tonight very well. I tried, and I thought I had enough there, but it seems that the topics for tonight haven't lasted as long as I thought they would. But for next week, I'll have a little bit of a rundown of Sunday's gameplay, so hopefully I might be able to entertain you with a bit of that. But yes, I'll give it a couple more minutes if anybody's got anything to talk about, and if not, then I'll probably end the stream a little bit premature tonight, but I hope that I've entertained you all. I'm getting the evil looks off the wave now. I think I might be in trouble. Do you think the rise of mechanical markers is good or bad for paintball? More, I don't think it's bad for paintball. Having more option for more equipment. I don't think having. We did talk about it last week, but I don't think having more mechanical markers is necessarily a bad thing. I think it's brilliant that we're going to have more option. I can't remember what I said last week. I might be totally contradicting myself now. I might be, I might not be, but. Yeah, the idea of having more equipment is brilliant, and the fact that the mechanical equipment that is being developed now, a lot of it is so much more advanced than stuff that obviously we had years ago. That to me, it's only a good thing. I mean, you've got quite good mechanical markers that, 15, 20 years ago would have probably been deemed as very high-end markers that are considered low-end now. I mean, things like the EMEC, it's as I haven't touched on myself, and the EMEC, the GMEC, those sorts of things. But for everything that I've read about them, everything that I've seen about them, they are being deemed as fantastic markers. You've got like the Shocker RSX, which I know is more of a high-end marker, but the Shocker that you can stick a mechanical trigger on, brilliant. You've got even if you go down to what is deemed to be the low-end stuff now, you've got the GOG Enemy, which there's one lad from my team, Chan, who he's got a bit of a modified GOG Enemy, but he's actually put more into it in upgrading it than he did in buying it, and even as a bog standard marker itself, it's fantastic. You can't fault it. And a lot of this stuff, it's basically, when you open up some of these mechanical markers, you can see where they have developed from original AGD technology. Where Tom K was innovating and developing things for paintball and creating amazing equipment. And some sites seem to have just taken that technology and they've ran with it and they've moved it on. They've made things smaller and lighter and more air efficient, which is fantastic for paintball. It gives people an option where if they don't want to go out and spend an absolute bomb on, really expensive high-end, tournament gear, they can get that low-end gear and still go out and have a great time where it's not a bit of rubbish. I mean, I can remember there being things like for pump actions, stuff like, and I don't think they're even made anymore, but things like the Brass Eagle Blade was a pump action that you buy for like 30 quid with a few extras like a mask and a tiny little hopper, and they would break after half an hour's half an hour's play, or things like some original spiders where they would never really work out of the box, or spider clones, sorry, where they'd never really, even from out of the box, they would never work properly. Now you'd be paying maybe $80 for that. And now you can pick up something that's not that much more expensive, or even the Tipman Griffin. The Tipman Griffin did not have a good reputation. I mean, even though it was a Tipman, and Tipman has a brilliant reputation in itself, the Tipman Griffin was known as being a bit of a naff marker. And you can spend a little bit more than what you could have bought a Tipman Griffin for originally, and get yourself something like a GOG Enemy that's going to last you for years. I think that's beautiful. We're going to be, people that are wanting to get into paintball can do so for very cheap and still be able to compete. I think that's only good. Right. Sorry, no, you covered it. Got a head like a sieve. Don't worry, mate. Me too. I lose track of things that I was talking about like 30 seconds ago. From Nicky T, EMEC wise, I have something fun coming. Details in the next week or so. Awesome. I'll keep an eye out for that. And if I can, once I'm assuming it'll be posted publicly. I don't feel like like I'm privileged enough to be getting private messages about details and leaks and things like that. But so once you share it around, I'll share it out on my page as well, and hopefully it's something to be excited about. Right, I'll respond to Nicky T first then. Or do you want the exclusive now? If you're ready for to release it now, then yes, of course. If you're not, then hold it, because sometimes waiting adds to the excitement. I shall leave it to my people to decide. In my opinion, I'm easy either way. I'm happy to wait. But if you want to drop it now, then I'm certainly not going to be disappointed by that. Do you think it's us will leave? Do you think us leaving the EU will possibly make paintball cheaper or more expensive? I don't know, Albert. I think it could go either way. Now, we do have paint manufacturers over here, but well, we used to. I don't know if we still do. Sterling, I think, used to be made in the UK, didn't it? And I don't. Is Sterling still going? I think they are. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we do have some paintball manufacturers over here. Now, as Martel has posted there, costs will go up. It's potential that costs will go up. It's also, there is a potential that costs may go down. It's more likely that they'll go up because everything always goes up. That's exactly what I was going to get at, Martel. Sterling will buy products from the EU. Yeah. Now, that is probably to be expected. Now, if we are lucky, those products won't be bought in the EU, if we're lucky. Realistically, it's likely that some products will be bought in the EU. So, depending on the trade deals that we're getting, where we get them from, and we might, like dildos in your arse. Cheers, Chan. I have a photo of you with a Magfred marker. Hush your mouth, or else I'll expose you. Yeah, so it could always goes up. That's it. Everything always goes up. The prices on everything always goes up. I think regardless of what happens, I think the prices will continue to rise. We can hope that they won't, but realistically, it's just the way life is. Right then, Nicky T. I have an EMEC and PAL loader system that you're turning into a paintball marker version of a chain letter. Interesting. Chan, what? Pete's stock class pump? It's not stock class. It's got a mag in it. You fondled a Magfred marker, Chan, and I have evidence. Yes, it's a Magfed. It's a cocker, but it's still Magfed. It will be sent to a different player each month to use and review. That's interesting. I understand. Obviously, now I understand what you mean by a chain letter, but it was a bit confusing saying chain letter. But yeah, now that you've explained it, that makes perfect sense. Right, Dr. Rush. I think it will depend on what happens to the British pound after Brexit. Yeah, I agree. I mean, unfortunately, the way a lot of things in the world are run by the US dollar instead. Everything is compared to the US dollar, and that's because the dollar to oil exchange or whatever it is. But yeah, you could be right there, Dr. Rush. Right, full details of how to apply to review it and what's included / required next week. Brilliant. I'll keep an eye out for that. Yes, and I will. If the details are posted public, then of course, as I said earlier on, I will share those details out with anyone that follows me on anywhere, and I'll bring it up on here as well, because I think that sounds like a fun thing to do. It's if it's what was it? Each month. So potentially, and will this be running for a full year? So will you get like 12, potentially 12 different aspects? Noisy. Yeah. So I'm assuming that if you're going to run it for a year, then obviously you'll get the 12 different sort of opinions and 12 different people that will actually be able to give their point of view on it, and I think that sounds exciting. It's and the only other thing, how are you gonna do the reviews? Is it written reviews? Is it video reviews or anything like that? Although, sorry, no, keep that to yourself. I'll wait for the full release. I'll wait for you to release it on your stuff, and I'll get the full details then, and then I'll share it on. Ben, Truthology by Nicky T. Dex will do it proud. What do you mean Dex will do it proud? There's no saying that I'm going to be involved in this. No. It's if it's a case of people have to apply, then it's only right that if people have to apply, then I have to apply as well. If I want to take part in it, then I would have to do that as well. I don't want to be any different to anyone else. What a great idea. Yeah, I think it is. Albert, I do. I think that's a great idea. I think, because like I said, I mean, you'll have you'll have umpteen different people who'll be able to get involved and give their opinions on what they think of it. Powerball. I was for some reason I was reading that as Powderball. Powerball, sort of, but yeah. That's it. Powerball made Sterling, didn't it? Yeah. Right. Paintball magazine comes with a note that says, "If you do not fire this marker and pass it on, you will lose all your money within a month, and ants will nibble your ball sack." Just like a chain that you got at school. Maybe that's why I had shit luck, because I didn't pass on that chain that I got in year 7. Right. 10 reviewers. You see, the only thing is, it's not a true chain letter, is it? Because you're not replicating it and sending it on to 50 of your mates. But yeah, no. In all seriousness, I think that's a brilliant brilliant thing to do. Up until Christmas, and then one reviewer will win it. I think that's a really nice touch. Yeah, I do. I think that's a brilliant touch. I didn't take the picture. Who did take the picture, Ben? Video reviews to be compiled into one big review. I think that's brilliant. I do. So yeah. I think I can't really add any more to that. I think it's brilliant, and I think it'd be a great way to get different people out trying that marker, and also I know I'm repeating myself here, but to have multiple different people trying it from potentially different aspects of like different sort of areas of paintball, so potentially the potential for that to be Tony ballers and Magfed players and pump players or whoever for getting out there and trying it. I think that is absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Just remember the poor northern lads. Wink. Well, go on, Ben. Get an application in. Right. So, again, has anybody got anything that they'd like us to touch on before I head off? Because I suppose I should go and do a little bit of painting before I go to bed. So, yeah. We've actually... we're a lot closer to the sort of standard 2 hours mark that I do here. But anything? Yes, no? Anything that you wants to touch on? Have you noticed that I've got something a little bit different up on the wall there this week? I'm trying to cycle through a few things just so that I'm breaking things up a little bit, and I know I do still need to get the second board up on the wall here, and then I can like hang a few more things up and just have a bit more of a pretty background. It was suggested a while ago that in fact I'm not sure if it was Dr. Rush suggested, it was somebody suggested that I needed more paintball related stuff in the background, which I do agree with. That I need to try and sort things out. I need to try and look a bit more of a professional outfit. And hopefully next week, the area behind us won't be full of stuff from the main bedroom. Right. I've got for some reason here, Facebook is going mental in the background. So I'll just have a quick check. Right. Right, I'll get rid of that. Nope. There we go. That was just one message. Right. So, I think that is about it for tonight then. If no one's got anything else that they want to talk about tonight, then I'm going to end the stream here. So, again, as always, thank you very much for joining us. Unfortunately, tonight, I won't be heading over to the Discord server. Albert, I've got a PGP as well. And I'm actually, it's lying in parts in a bag somewhere. And I'm actually at the point of I'm torn because I don't want to sell it, but I also never use it. So I might build it up as a wall hanger, but I might also just sell it. I haven't decided yet. But it's tempting to like, give it a good polish up, and then just stick it up there nicely. So I think it would look nice, like in amongst the other pumps. I think there's probably enough room for us to hang the PGP like there. It would look kind of cool. Anyway, so thank you very much, guys, for joining, for taking part in the stream tonight. Obviously, this stream, it wouldn't be anything without you lot coming in and talking. It would just be me sitting here bored. So, again, thank you very much for joining us. I shall be here at the same time next week. Let's do it. I'll try. I'll be here at the same time next week, as always, from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, roughly. And that's what I aim for. Greenwich Mean Time. So, yeah, hopefully, I'll be a little bit more organised and a little bit more tidy in the background. And thank you very much for watching. And I shall see you next week. If you choose to join us. So...